love America.
We love America.
Pretty good. If it wasn't for the 4th of July, we'd all be out here with some fucked up teeth, wearing wigs, and drinking tea instead of whiskey. I mean, come on, can you see Leandra and Elliot trying a case with big old colonial wigs on? That would be some funny shit, right? No, but serious though, thanks for having me out tonight. I want to give everybody a round of applause because this may suck, so I want you to know that it may.
Yeah.
We'll get started. My name is Jayson, and I'm an alcoholic. Oh, wait, that's the wrong skit. Let's get something straight. I am a certified drunk. I have nowhere near the dedication to go to those meetings. The only way you're getting me to go to AA is under a court order, you know what I'm saying? But in all seriousness, no, alcoholism is a serious thing. I want to make a point, it runs in my family, so I have to be careful. Well, honestly, I should say, it kind of gets to a brisk walk in my family. Ain't nobody running nowhere in my family. You know what I'm saying? We may get to a jog if like a bear was chasing us. It had to be some pretty serious shit. Plus, I'm from Tacoma, and we ain't scared of shit. It's a real deal up in here. And, Tacoma's getting sketchy. The other day I was walking my dog, and this guy ran up on me, and he was like, "Give me all your money." And I started to talk to him and be like, "Hey man, I've been married for 20 years. The only thing in my wallet's dust and pictures." Before I even got it out of my mouth though, man, he's like, see my Tacoma shirt, and he threw his gun at me and ran the other way. Sorry. Tacoma's got some street cred though, coming up. People are starting to get serious over here. Car theft is a serious thing. I heard the other day that Sony PlayStation is actually going to make a Grand Theft Auto Tacoma. I mean, how cool is that going to be, right? I mean, I'm going to be able to steal my own car and go to my own house for a hideout. Just like the last time when I missed a payment. So, the city is seriously getting worse though. I went to a school the other day trying to, do some community outreach. They wanted me to do a career day. So I showed up a little bit early, and the whole class was having an English assignment, and the teacher had some stuff written up on the board, and she turns around to the class and says, "Okay, class, what comes at the end of a sentence?" And the whole class simultaneously said, "An appeal." And this was a rough neighborhood, I didn't notice it driving in, but as I was leaving, I seen all the stop signs said, "Best not to," under the word stop. So you had to keep driving, right? But in all seriousness, no, I wanted to get my family out of Tacoma, so we moved a couple years ago. And when I contacted my realtor, I said, what should I be looking for in a neighborhood? And she goes, "Well, here's a trick. You should look for people that are jogging." And I go, "Jogging?" And she goes, "Yeah, they're safe, they got money, they got extra time." And I go, I start thinking about it, and I go, that is some white privilege bullshit. You don't just be running around for no fucking reason. I mean, come on now. I said, this neighborhood that I live in now, there's this asshole that jogs, and he jogs to the grocery store and gets his own groceries. And seriously, it pisses me off, man. I don't even want to run to my car when it's raining. This guy's jogging to get his groceries, right? The only thing that keeps me from running him over when I see him when I'm driving home from work is that I know, you be jogging home with your groceries, you got to double bag that shit. They're charging him at least 16 cents. Even in my neighborhood, though, it's a good neighborhood. It's quiet, lots of old people, really good place to live. But even in my neighborhood, it's getting worse, I seen this guy the other day, probably trying to save some money on his gym membership, trying to get his workout on. He was jogging through my neighborhood carrying a TV set. I'm like, "Yeah, brother, get your workout on." But I can handle, the crime and the drugs and the car theft and stuff. But, you don't know who to trust out here. The other day I read a story about a dentist, a local dentist, and he was arrested for selling drugs on the side. And I'm like, motherfucker, I've been a client of this guy for 15 years, and I didn't even know he was a dentist. That's some whack bullshit, because, he's selling meth out the back, and then he tells you to go make an appointment up front. I mean, that's a solid-ass businessman, right? Fix your teeth, motherfucker. But one thing that pisses me off, living in Tacoma is the shortage of workers. The other day I went to the grocery store, which is my least favorite thing in the world that I ever have to do, right? And so I'm walking in, and I'm like, oh, I better grab a cart, because you know fucking carts inside. I grab a cart, I'm shopping around, I got my list for my wife, and I'm like, fuck, there ain't nothing on the shelves. So I go in the back. I'm like, there's got to be more stuff in the back. So I restock like 3 things from the shelf, get what I need to get, check myself out at the register. I'm half expected to get a freaking paycheck instead of a receipt. And this guy stops me at the door as I'm walking out, and he goes, can I see your receipt, sir? I'm like, fuck no, you can't see my receipt. If you want to see my receipt, check me out at the goddamn checkout. I didn't even know what the fuck I bought. I said, I shoved 3 fists of whiskey in this $1.99 loaf of French bread and took off my old shoes in a box back on the shelf. And by the way, I didn't pay for my fucking bags either, asshole. But that's my time, so thanks for having me out.